All right, you've made it. We're on the final lesson of this module, learning about the basic major and minor chord shapes, and I'm so excited to finally get there. G major is one of those chords that's a little bit controversial in terms of how to play it. So I'm going to just teach you the way that I am a firm believer of how you should try to play the G major chord. So what is the G major chord? Well, G is the root. We skip A, so B is the third. We skip C. D is the fifth. G, B, D. G, B, D, that's a G major chord. And you might notice that G major actually looks a little bit similar to C major, and very often C goes to G, so this is actually really convenient. So let's actually start with the C major chord, and we'll transform it into a G major chord the way that I recommend you learn how to do it. So version 1 of the G major chord, here we go. We're on C, and what we're going to do is you can just lift up finger 1, we don't need that at all. Finger 3 and finger 2 are just going to move up 1 string each. So finger 3, if we're going back to C major, finger 3 was on string 5, it's going to go up to string 6, fret 3. Then finger 2, it was on string 4, it's going to go up to string 5. And then no index whatsoever. This is just the bass part, but let's just listen to that. You can isolate those first 5 strings even, and it's going to sound pretty good. So there you go. So again, going from the C major, we're going to lift up finger 1 and see if you can, in one movement, actually hop up those other fingers. If you can't do that yet, no problem. Just go one at a time. But going one at a time, it's easy to kind of overshoot or miss that. So just watch out. So let's just hear that. Let's just make sure we're getting a clean sound, even with the bass, with nothing else down. How's it sounding? Are you hearing this? Really buzzy sound? If so, make sure that the finger isn't too close to the beginning of the fret. Remember in C major how we had to make sure it was close to the end of the fret? Well, with this G note, we definitely have to make sure it's also close to the end of the fret, because otherwise we're going to get that buzz. It's never going to sound great. Next up, we have B, which is going to be finger 2 on string 5, fret 2. Are you able to hear that clearly? If not, if it sounds like this, again, it's that pesky finger 3 that might be interfering and getting in the way of you ringing out that clear B note. So the cool thing about playing on string 6 is that we actually have a lot of room to put our finger down. So unless you have a 7-string guitar, you have a lot of open space above where you could really sit that finger 3 down on top of that string. Just get plenty of clearance. Again, if the thumb is way up here, that's going to be really, really difficult for you. You're going to start getting interference almost immediately. So make sure that thumb is low. Make sure the hand is even and straight, right? We don't want to go way out like this. And if I'm just going to naturally play G major here, I'll show you exactly where on my finger 3 that string is landing so you can see. Next up, we have the open D. After that, open G, string 3. Then we have string 2, and here it is. Here's the big one. This is what everyone cries about. It is pinky going onto string 1, fret 3. Does that feel totally crazy? Is that totally impossible right now? If so, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Just try to do it once and then shake it off. Once and shake it off. So right away, you might just be saying, I don't think this is possible at all for my hands to do. So I will go ahead and show you the alternative way of playing G major. I still strongly recommend you learn how to play version 1 of the G major that I showed you before. But let's go ahead and take a look at what an alternative is. Maybe you'll find it's a little bit easier for you, at least at first. Instead of playing this formation of G major, G, B, and then a high G there, finger 1 is going to go onto string 5, fret 2. Then finger 2 is going to go onto string 6, fret 3. And then finger 3 is going to go onto string 1, fret 3. And there's nothing really wrong with playing this formation. I mean, hopefully it sounds exactly the same as, right? It's just using different fingers that might be a little bit easier if pinky has never been activated before, you've never really used it when playing chords, or just the stretch between fingers 3 and finger 4. I mean, that's really what this comes down to, is stretching this wide between 3 and 4, it's just not comfortable enough yet for most people. So that's why a lot of people learn this G major formation and then they just rely on that. So you can definitely do it. However, we need to think about, where does G major usually come from and where does it go? If we're in the key of C major, let's just think about this for a second. What's the 5 of C? C, D, E, F, G. G is the 5 chord of C. So if I'm playing something in C major, that means I'm really often going to be going to the G major. So look at that. Just like how I demonstrated in the very beginning, look at how fingers 2 and 3, they just have to hop up one string and that is it. And it's super clean, super easy. But later on, we're going to talk about this G7 chord. It's one of my favorite chords on guitar, but G7 is played with an F natural right there. And very often, G7 is going to resolve down to C. Now look at this. It's almost just looking like an extended version of the C major. Check this out, because we have finger 1 down on fret 1. It just has to go up 1 string each, and these just have to drop down 1 string each for the C major. So that happens so often. It's really a good idea to learn how to play G major, G7, C, versus if we're using these other fingers, look how screwed we are. G major, G7, C. Look at this. We have so much acrobatics to do. It's almost like I imagine the pirate ship ride at an old county fair. I don't know. I grew up in North Carolina, so we had a lot of those pirate ship rides. So it's almost, that's what I always visualize when I see this giant momentum shift from this shape all the way, finger 3. Look at finger 3. Our worst finger has to go all the way up to string 6, while finger 1 also has to do a 6-to-1 jump down just to get to that G7. So it's going to cause you a ton of problems down the road, and we want to play in C major. It's an absolutely beautiful key to play in. So we have to get comfortable being able to go from G to C with this formation. So I want to dive into some strategies right away that are going to help that pinky feel a lot more comfortable on string 1 while these other fingers are up here. So let's get started. So the number one thing we can do is actually play the C major chord again. And then what we're going to do is actually just add pinky down onto fret 3, string 1. That's the G. C major, 2, 3, 4, and then add a high G. If you remember, C major is C, E, G, so this actually fits right in the chord beautifully. Lift it up, put it down. And remember, you can totally leverage the side of the pinky finger. We don't have to be as direct on with that finger as we are with some of the others. So you can use the outer side of finger 1 when you're doing things like playing the C natural on string 2, and you can use some of the side of the pinky finger when you're doing things like playing the high G on string 1. So just remember that. You know, we don't have to be directly on here with every single finger. I mean, a little bit more direct on is great, but don't be afraid to leverage some of the sides of the fingers. Just let the natural contour of your hand dictate how you should play this. So we've just seen that with the G. If that is also too difficult, I've got a more kind of alternative fun chord that you can play. And I think even if it's not too difficult, this is just kind of a cool chord to play in general. So let's take a look at this. This is actually going to be called an F9. I know we haven't done any F chords, definitely no 9 chords yet, but that's okay. I'm just going to show you it's really similar to C major. So let's start back on C major again. And what we're going to do, finger 1 is going to stay right where it is. Fingers 2 and 3 are now going to move down 1 string each. So now we have finger 3 onto string 4, fret 3. That's an F. Then we have finger 2 down onto the G string. So that's fret 2, string 3. That's an A. And then we have finger 1 still on the C, And then here's what we're gonna do. Add the pinky down. Right there. So what we can do is we can just play the open E. This makes it an F, A, C, E chord, which is actually an F major 7 chord. Not F7, but an F major 7. We'll talk about that another time. But then what we could do instead is add the pinky down onto fret 3, string 1. This would be a G. So now the chord is F, A, C, G. This would be an F9 because F is the root, A is the third, C is the fifth. We don't have E, but that's okay. We skip over to the 9, which would be G. So you're literally just counting every other letter, and that's how you make more complex chords. 7th chords, 9th chords, 11th chords, 13th chord. This is a common chord, this F major 7, kind of a more modern sound, and it's definitely a common chord that we see with flamenco guitar. We're gonna go between this F9 into the C major while leaving the pinky down as we do the transition. So let's see if we can do just 8 counts of that. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just 2 and 3 are going to be the only ones that go up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Finger 2 and 3 jumping down. 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fingers 2 and 3 jump up and very good. Pretty cool sound, right? It's a little bit more alternative than some of the more basic major and minor chords that we've been playing. But the reason I absolutely love this is that it is teaching your finger 3 and your finger 4 that it's okay to be a little separated, and it's building a familiarity there. This is a great stretch that you can do, and it's going to build some endurance by leaving that chord down for 8 counts, 6 counts, 4 counts, whatever it may be. You can, again, always go 2, 3, 4, add pinky, 2, 3, 4, C major, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. This is the opposite, where I'm starting with it down and then removing it. So just have fun with this, you know. We want to build the familiarity. We want to allow pinky to just be able to find that G note. We want to find that fret 3, string 1 with ease and with accuracy every time. The way we can do that is by not totally exasperating our hand with a crazy, you know, string 6 to string 1 jump with the G major right out of the gate. We want to build up to it with this F9, with a C, with the high G, and then eventually you can get to the G like that. Now earlier I mentioned another strategy for how to get to G major from D. Okay, if we're in the key of C major, C, D, E, F, G is the 5. That's that whole G7 to C thing. But if we're in the key of G major, where G major is home base, what's the 5 of G? G, A, B, C, D, D major. So that means we have to be able to go again from here, D major, to G. So how are we going to do that effectively? Well, because pinky is such an issue, what you could do is play the D major, put pinky down first, and then it's just a matter of lifting that 3 and that 2 up. And look at how these are almost able to stay in the same formation. This is another reason why this shape is a little bit more effective, is that finger 2 and 3 are basically already spaced out as much as they need to be spaced out to then rise up and hit string 6 and string 5. So you are going to add pinky, lift up finger 1, and throw these guys up there onto string 6 and string 5. So let's try an 8 count. We're going to go from D major to G major. And if you feel like it's really too painful or it's not happening or that stretch is just impossible right now, go back to earlier in the video where I was showing you the F9 and the C major. Maybe do that for a day or two, just kind of start building up to it. We don't have to get it right away, but if you are ready, Let's go for it. So we're going to go from D major to G major. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with D major down. You can anchor your thumb on 6, or if you want to just kind of free for all it, that's okay. Just make sure not to hit that string 6, especially when we're playing that D major chord. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to play D major. When you get to about count 5 or 6, if you wanted to even early put that G down, that's totally cool. And then just visualize finger 2 and 3 launching up to strings 5 and 6. Ready? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Start thinking about where those fingers are going. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can put pinky down if you want. 7, 8, and lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, drop, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, leverage, lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, pivot. 1, 7, 8. Awesome. There you go. How did that feel? Were you able to get that pinky down and get finger 2 and 3 to hop up a little more efficiently? Well, if you did and you're ready to move on to the 6 count, let's do that now. I'm going to do a little bit less of the leverage point with the pinky because I want us to just kind of be able to eventually get there a little more cleanly. I'll still do it a little bit, but it'll be much closer to the actual transition time rather than sort of leaving the pinky down. But let's get right into the 6 count now. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last cycle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Awesome. Well done. I hope that went smooth for you. And how is it coming along? Are you finding that you're able to get that pinky down and get those fingers 2 and 3 to lift up? I hope so. And if you are ready to move on to the 4 count, let's just get right to that one now. So here we go. We're going to start on our D major. We're going to do 4 cycles just like usual. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Believe it or not, we're already on the last cycle. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Congratulations. If you're able to get that fast and that fluid with D major to G major, you are in really, really great shape. Now, if it just wasn't happening for you whatsoever, I do recommend you go back and play the F9 shape I was showing you, or play the C major shape with the G down, going between those chords. Because again, the reason it's so hard and so difficult at first is the stretch between 3 and 4, fingers 3 and finger 4. It's just not something that our fingers are very used to doing. So it takes a lot of extra concentration and effort. Start with easier chords, start with easier versions of it, and then eventually you can get to that full G major chord. And if you're just thinking, Jonathan, this 3 to 4 thing is not happening, I can't get that stretch to happen even after doing a bunch of this, and I just want to do this other G major shape, it just is what feels right for my hands, then by all means go for it. So that's it. Congratulations, you have done it. You have made it through this whole module of our open major chords and minor chords, the basic 8 chord shapes that we are going to be using over and over and over again. I'm super proud of you. So well done. I mean, at this point, you could be looking up the chords to some of your favorite songs, and I bet you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I know almost all of these chords already. But the next common chords that we definitely want to learn about are the 7th chords, the dominant 7th chords. And I'm so excited because the formula and the patterns that I show you in the next module of going between a 1 chord and a dominant 7th chord is going to unlock so many possibilities for you. You're going to be able to play so streamlined, so quickly, so beautifully and efficiently. And it's going to set you up so that you're able to predict what's actually coming next. You're going to be looking up these songs, and if you see, oh, that's a G7 chord, I know it's going to go to a C major chord. You're going to start to actually instill this information, and it's going to give you a huge advantage. And when you're playing with other people on the fly, you're going to be so comfortable and so used to going from a 5 chord to a 1 chord that it's just going to become like second nature. And pretty soon you won't even be thinking about all these numbers and letters and all this other stuff. You're just going to be knowing these shapes, and your hands are going to know exactly where to go. So let's go to the dominant 7th chords in the next module. I'll see you there.